So empathy is one of these things. It's a fascinating field of research. There's been a lot of research around it in the last bunch of years. If we're born in a normal body, we have all the normal equipment, we have empathy. We might have more, we might have less of it, but we're kind of born with it. I can tell how someone else feels. That helps me know how to relate to them. It helps me know how to affiliate with them, helps me get it, how they're feeling, so I can talk with someone. So for we humans, empathy is a really important quality that we're born with. There are some people that have none. It's also been found, because it's been studied, that empathy can be trained. If you're somebody that happens to have very little empathy, but you want to develop it, it can be trained. There's also, I think, an interesting thing. Have you heard the term compassion fatigue? Well, the scientists now, interestingly, who study it, study empathy and compassion. They're saying, actually, it's not compassion fatigue. It's empathy fatigue. But this quality that we have that allows us to get how someone else feels, if we overdo it, if we get so immersed in how someone else feels that it pulls us off balance, that's our empathy. If we over empathize, then we can get overwhelmed by it. And that is the real fatigue quality that's occurring. How can we balance ourselves and still have empathy? I think there's something that I like to refer to as healthy empathy. It's being empathic, which we want to be, and keeping our balance. And that's an art. It's an art and a skill and a practice, call it what you will. So there are different ways of doing it. If somebody's telling you about something they're experiencing or have recently experienced that was very painful and upsetting, you're just confiding it to you, you're listening, you're being a good listener and a good friend. How can you keep your balance while you're listening without getting a little overwhelmed by it? You can do very simple things that bring you back into your body. Right? You're not out there in their body, you're in your body. And it's kind of remembering to stay in your own body. How do you do that? You don't have to go through a whole thought process about how I do it. All you have to do is do something that reminds you of your body. And I had one person tell me, she said, well, it's really easy for me. I just push my left foot down toward the ground a little bit more and I feel the sole of my foot. And I said, what? She said, that's what I do. I said, why do you do that? She said, because when I do that, it brings me back into my body. I'm still listening to them. I'm still caring, but I stay grounded in my body. And I had another person, people would come and tell her their problems. She said, I just sit there like this. I said, why do you do that? She said, I just squeeze my hand to kind of remind myself that I'm in my body. It's helping us differentiate. Even though we know it rationally, we get carried into the story. And that's a good thing. We want to be able to empathize, but we need to remind our body that we're differentiated. And we can do it just by feeling our body. It can be squeezing our hand. It can be putting our hands on our stomach with a fist and just pushing it into our stomach a little bit. It can be feeling our foot on the floor. But if we can feel our body, we can feel the support of the chair. So can you please bring something to mind that you remember that was an example of being with somebody who was suffering? And you may need to search a little. I want you to find something that's about a level 4 or 5, if you can. It may not be the person you're normally caring for. You may be thinking of one of your friends that has a problem, right? Just in order to try it out. And once again, please allow your eyes to gently close, your gaze to drop, and bring that situation to mind, that person to mind. Notice if you were starting to feel a little bit, I call it tipped over, a little bit out of balance. Your empathy is starting to get away, a little bit, get away from you a little bit, and almost body language almost can make you lean forward a little bit more than you would. Lean toward the person that you're feeling empathy for. And while that's happening, you could straighten your body position a little bit too. That wouldn't hurt. And then pick a way to come back into your body. See if you can literally feel that. Feel the floor beneath your feet. Squeeze your wrist if you wish to. Take a deep breath. And then keep being there with that person. That's the practice.